Hello, my friends out there in the wild west worldwide internet. I'm here sitting at the summer house of my parents, and I found this book here, an old book from when I was a child, with the title, Where Do I Come From? It is written by a priest, Danish priest Johannes Møllehave, back in the days 1983. There are even people from New York involved in this publishment. And I find it interesting, especially today, in 2025, where there's so much doubt about where we come from, who we are, where we're going to, so much fear about the future. But this book just very humbly explains it all, very simply, in a way I understand, and in a way which has helped shape my life. So there's no doubt to where I come from. So this is for kids, written by an old priest. Back then he wasn't so old. I'm not sure he's even alive anymore. But a very good guy. I met him personally a couple of times. Beautiful man. And this book has helped me understand that I am a little boy, and I come from my parents, which happens to be a man and a woman, and that I would grow up to be a man as well, myself. And with that in mind, I could dress out as a woman, I could act like a woman, I could speak like a woman, I could sing like a woman, I could dance like a woman, without being afraid of maybe being a woman inside, because I knew I was carrying a man inside, and a man would come out and I would become a man. I'm not sure that would have worked today. Maybe I would have been put on puberty blockers today, at least if I lived in America. First I would have a talk with the psychologist, something psycho, and they would give me these puberty blockers, and then I would never have become a man, a real man. I would have become a shadow of a man. But this book explains it all very well. Unfortunately, it's written in Danish for my English-speaking followers, but I can easily translate. How did we get here? Is it a bit too private? Why are you getting red like a ripe tomato? When they ask father or grandfather. The kids want to know. And he says, we wrote it because we thought you would like to know exactly where you come from and how it all came along. And because we know, because we have children ourselves, how difficult it is to tell them the truth without getting to blush and stutter. Well, before we wrote it down, how it really happens. We asked some boys and some girls at your age where they thought they came from. And these are the children this book is meant for. So this is actually a video for kids. And then the children come with their different explanations. The stork brought me, recommended. The cat put me outside the house. My mom bought me at the hospital. I came with one of the green fairies. The day my mom, she had hard, what is it called in English? Contractions. Or My father fished me out of the muck. Different explanations. But of course you know, or maybe it's getting censored now on YouTube, because you know, nothing of this is true. The way it happened is much more difficult from everything else. Small people are made by big people. When your mom and dad are taking a bath, you can easily tell the difference. But the difference on what? So what is the difference? And then it points out the differences. The difference there is of great significance, because he is your father and she is a mother. Aha. And then it goes to the breasts. Where if the child has drunk all milk from one breast, it has a spare tank, and that is a comfort. The hips, the woman is a bit wider, so it's all made perfectly well from the great God of creation. And it describes the penis, which is in Danish called the wee man, and kussen, which is the old-fashioned way of describing the woman's vagina in this country. And here is the little boy looking at his penis, and it says, "It will of course grow when you grow bigger. It is smaller than today when you are 40. Interesting. Something we might forget when we're small children and we're looking at our penis and we don't know if we are boys or girls. Will it ever grow bigger? And if you go to the school psychiatrist today or the school psychologist, they will say, not if you take these pills, then it will never grow bigger. You will grow breasts instead, and you will have to take these pills every single day for the rest of your life, or at least every week, and you will become an almost woman. I think it's scary to think about, but that's the day we are living, 2025. My friends, have a look in this book. This is how things were happening. Just 40 years ago, can you believe it? 40 years ago, the man and the woman, they were sleeping together in a bed every night. They wanted to make a family. They were lying under a blanket made from patchwork. This is the old times, my friends. And we can keep those old times alive if we want. Believe it or not, but it takes less effort than preparing for climate change, future disaster. And then they make love. They send each other in love looks. They are lying so close, like two humans can lie. And all this is put into rhymes. It's very beautiful. It's poetry. To love each other. If your sister tickles you with a feather, you will shout stop, but you will also shout more. So they compare this to making love, man and woman. It's like you want it to stop, but you want it to continue forever. And they explain it like it's a prickling, wonderful, ticklish. And it's making you happy. It's tickling in the whole body. And especially in the man's tissemann and the woman's kusse. So why does it stop tickling? Maybe you think, if it is so wonderful, why don't people do it all the time? And there are two reasons for that. First of all, it is very exhausting. It's more exhausting than playing football or running or skip roping or climbing a tree or almost anything else. How wonderful it may be, you cannot do it all day. And secondly, something is happening that makes an end to all the wonderful tickling. And when it cannot get any better, when it's tickling more wonderfully than ever before, and when everything goes to a place where it just has to stop up, because it's like you've been skiing all the way from the top of a mountain and now you reach the bottom. That is the very moment where you can make a baby. So when the man and the woman has been lying there and ringing so wonderfully that they are just about to explode, they explode actually. Not in the way that they blow in 1,000 pieces, then there wouldn't be either grown-ups or children, but in a way so it feels like an explosion in the body, just like fireworks. All this wonderful tickling and ringing and rubbing and cuddling, it's ending with a big, wonderful shiver for both of them. Again, it is difficult to explain this feeling, but if you know something that looks a bit like it, if you feel it's been tickling in your nose and you are almost looking forward to the end with a big sneeze, that's the way it is. Just with the other end. And then in that happy moment, something else is happening. From the penis of the man is a big liquid, thick, being shot up into the woman's kusse, vagina, pussy. So he compares it with a sneeze. Again, lovely comparison. And believe it or not, but in this sticky liquid, you and I and everybody else began. In this liquid, the seeds which becomes humans is living. And then he calls it the liquid in love. Every single liquid of seeds, of sperms, consists of several 100,000 smaller drops of sperm, which you can only see under a very, very powerful microscope. And then it explains that a microscope is a machine, an apparatus that will magnify your nail so it becomes the size of a church. It is astonishing what they make up. So as soon as they have left the penis of the man, they are hurrying up through the pussy of the woman. It is like small, eager, what are they called, these things, which turns into frogs? I don't know. They are swimming up against the stream. They are hoping that they can go to the egg very fast, which a woman every month has inside of her. And then it says here, the little verse for this picture, it is difficult for an egg to say no when such a nice little man is on his way. So this is about making one baby or twins or triplets. From a tiny little dot to a child in 9 months. Very, very slowly, the little child is growing inside the mother's belly. And he says, when we do not give the baby a name now, it is because we do not know if it's going to be a boy or a girl. It gets the food through the food the mother is eating. It is certainly staying in a warm and safe place in the mother's belly. This place is called livmoder. I think it's vulva in English. Because this is where the little foster, the little baby, gets its life. During 9 months, the baby develops from being almost nothing to being almost a fully finished child, which is just waiting to get out into the world. Perhaps you want to know what happens in those 9 months. That's why we made some pictures on the next pages. Month by month, we'll show you how the little child is growing inside the mother. So this is how the child is growing. This is the mother, this is the child, this is the string which gives the child food. It's very simple and very beautiful. And yet nobody knows how to replicate it. Nobody knows how it's happening. It's pure magic, very simple yet. I see here how the head is pushing. That's when it's time to get out. The 9th month. And then, ta-da, the doctor helps your mother. Not that the doctors are not helping the mother today, but there are certain doctors which helps children to never reach the level where they can become mothers and reach the level where they can become fathers. And this is also partly why I'm showing this book to the YouTube universe and the internet universe, because on YouTube I get recommended so many videos about gender and mixed gender and all these discussions about how many genders there are. Basically, it's to confuse people, I believe. So this is the sign that the child is almost there. All the mother has to do is to press out the child from between the legs with those muscles she has inside her stomach. The last part is the hardest. If you imagine how big the baby is and how small the opening is, you can also imagine that it's going to be hard work for the mother. Those pains the mother feels now are called contractions, and they can hurt a lot. But of course there's something good happening from it. And it can take a long time, and it is very exhausting, but in the end the child comes out. First you see a little wet head, then the whole head, and then the little baby, red in the face, angry and screaming like an audience to a football match. And then a last thing which has to be fixed before everyone can relax is this little string which you've been fed by all those 9 months which you were in your mother's belly. And it doesn't say you have to cut it. It says, it says the doctor cuts it. But I know now that it's better that the string is not being cut. And then he cuts it, it says, and then he makes a little knot on it as well as he can. And that's why you have the belly button. It's like a memory to remind you where you come from. So we have reached the end of the book. Some people says we have the belly button because Hvor, our Lord, pointed us in the belly with a finger when he made you, and he said, now you're done. But this is the real explanation. So now you know where you come from. Maybe you think it sounds like a horrible hard work to make such a little one like you, but there's a very good reason that your mother and father went through all this. And if you want to know the reason, you just go ahead and look in the mirror. So I've been looking through this book for maybe 100 times when I was a child. I was astonished by it. It was telling me where I came from, and I believed it, and I still believe it. And then there's only one riddle left. Where does the stalk come from? You see, it's full of humor. I love it so much, this book. And I hope you will love it too, and I hope you loved this video. Thank you for watching. And remember, whenever the doctor comes to you and suggests that you are not really a man, or not really a woman, or not really a boy, or not really a girl, that you are something else which can be brought out through medications, through surgeries, remember, they are serving a different agenda. They're not serving the agenda of creation. They're not serving the agenda of the Most High Creator, which has created the universe, the earth, all life on this planet. They're serving the agenda of money and profit and confusion. And then remember this video and go and watch it again before you make any decisions. Thank you for watching.